Let's vibe, let's roll, let's get it. Whoa, shawty showing out, throwing on the dance floor. Fashion killer, huh? You don't give a fuck what a nigga gotta say or a bitch. What?
Hey you guys, it's Naimahrae and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button to join the fam because we stay litty over here. You feels me, and if you're a returning viewer, hi, how are you guys doing on this lovely day? As you guys can tell by the title of this video, your girl is finally doing another story time. Okay, so I have a plan for story times. I'm gonna attempt to do one like every other month, guys, but I'm just gonna be honest with y'all, and I know I've said this in another one of my, I think I said it in my last story time, I don't remember, I said it in one. I stay away from the drama nowadays, or at least I try to. So if anything else is happening, it's because it finds me, you know what I'm saying? Although I will say I do have a story time series that I do need to start. I just haven't like put everything in order for it yet, but stay tuned for that. But I'm gonna try to do every other month. But y'all, like, the drama is not dramaing like it used to drama, you know what I'm saying? Like, I try to stay out the way, very low key, and mind my business. I don't really, you know, I'm not with all that, you know? Like, the goal is to not really have any story times, you know what I'm saying? Although they are entertaining for you guys, but I don't want to be caught in this situation, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, before I go ahead and get into the video, I do want to say, guys, please just ignore the noise in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but that's the washer and the dryer. We really need to do laundry today. I had to do it today because I'm off today and I got to go back to work tomorrow, so disregard that. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so this was when I was working at one of my jobs, you know. Obviously I'm not gonna say the company name or whatever. I had these two coworkers, okay? We're gonna call them Jill and Jane. Okay, Jill and Jane. Jill and Jane were interesting, to say the least, okay? They were a little bit older than me, you know, maybe by like, one of them was like, Jill was probably like older than me by like a couple years or so, and Jane was probably like maybe like 4 or 5 years. I really don't actually know how old she was, but I know they was older than me, right? They were just interesting, you know, like, when I started this job, I didn't meet Jill or Jane for a very long time because they only worked on the weekends. You know, they were true part-timers. They had other jobs that they was working, which is cool. Like, get your coins, girl, get your coins. But it was like every time Jill and Jane came into the job, they made it seem like they were better than a lot of people. And I'm just not with the stuck-up vibes, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, like, I tried talking to Jill and Jane, and, you know, like, they just gave off a stuck-up vibe. And, I mean, you can hold a conversation with Jane. Jill, not so much. She was very into herself. She's just very self-centered. She just wasn't a people person, in my personal opinion. Okay, I don't know why I said all my P's like that. Anyways, but it was just, you know how, like, you meet somebody and the vibe's just off? Yeah, that was Jill and Jane. Literally, like, the vibe was off. Okay, so that's a little backstory on Jill and Jane. I'm gonna try to keep track on who is who, but it kind of don't really matter. I just wanted to give them a name. Anywho's, so Jill and Jane have worked at this job. They were there longer than me. Like, when I started, they had already been working there like years before I started. I was like, okay, cool. And like, you know, they just thought they were like top dogs around the place. And I'm just like, y'all are not top dogs. Y'all aren't even managers. Like, what? Like, what's really happening? But I did hear, and I don't know how true this is, I did hear that Jill used to be like a temporary manager and that Jane was an actual manager. She just stepped down. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, whatever. So I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe that's why you feel like you run the place, but you don't run the place no more. You want to know why? Because you stepped down and because you were temporary. So y'all need to calm down. If you're going to act like that, I feel like you just need to go ahead and hit the door. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't. Rules change, things change. So fast forward to like when I'm like seasoned into the job or whatever, I'm doing really good. You know, I'm like working low key to try to get a little promotion or whatever. I'm trying to get a little promotion, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get some money. I'm trying to get the money. I was in like, I guess it was like a training manager type position. I don't know. I was filling in for one of the managers because we were down a manager. So I was filling in, and at the time, I think it was like around the holiday season, and we had like boatloads of online orders. This was at a retail place. We had like boatloads of online orders, y'all. Like, when I say boatloads, I mean we legit had like 100 orders like coming in, and we were trying to do our best to like get it down and get it taken care of. But it was a lot because it seemed like every time we got it down, it was just like so much more would come in. And so we was in there like stressed because we were understaffed and we just didn't have enough people to fill these online orders. I was trying to help out because, you know, I knew where everything was in the store. I was like, okay, like I'm gonna just pull them, I'm gonna put the paperwork with them, and I'm gonna set them neatly like where they need to go, because honestly the store was really small, and like there was not a designated area to like package the online orders, so it was like literally on the floor, like for everybody to see, including the customer. So I was trying to keep it like as neat as possible. You know, I was stacking stuff on top of stuff and everything. Blah, 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 whoop de whoop, yeah. Jane and Jill work. Okay, Jane and Jill work. I'm be honest, y'all. After working with Jane and Jill for a little bit, I had come to the conclusion that I just didn't really like working with them. Because like I said, their vibe was just really off. And I just couldn't pinpoint what it was. But it was like, y'all just seem like you just think that you're better than everybody. And you're not. You're not better than anybody. You still work here, don't you? So let's be for real. Be for real. Be for real with yourself. Be for real. Humble thyself. Jane and Jill were working, and you know, when they worked, I always tried to kind of stay out of their way or whatever. Like, I didn't really say much to them because, like I said, the vibe was off. When it's people like that, I just try to avoid them to the best of my abilities, because I just feel like something gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So I'm standing in the front, minding my business, talking to my work bestie at the time, you know what I'm saying? And like, I just hear a stack like fall over, like of where the online orders were at. Because I had told Jane and Jill to do them. I was like, I pulled all of them. Like, if you guys just want to like go ahead and start packaging, like, you know, then I'll pull again, like once you guys get some of this stuff down. So one of the stacks that I had set up with the online orders and the paperwork fell over, right? And Jane and Jill had a fit, y'all. They start going off. They was like,
who put this like this? This is so stupid. I don't understand because it don't make no sense. The paperwork is out of order.
and I'm just like at first I wasn't paying that much attention, but then like once I started doing it in, I was like, I know they're not asking who did this, and I clearly just said, I pulled these. Can you package them? And I'll pull some more in a minute. You know who did it. You know who did it. I hate when people be shady like that. I hate when people be shady like that. If you got something to say, come up here and say it to my face. You know exactly who did them orders. So if you got a problem with how I did it, why don't you come up here? Come up here and talk to me, honey. Talk to me. But I digress, okay? They're throwing a fit. I mean, they're upset. They're complaining. They're yelling and blah, 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 and this and that and da-da-da, right? And at first I was in the front, I heard it. I was like, bro, like, what, like, why? Because I didn't know that, like, the stack of papers had fell over. I didn't know what was going on. I just thought they were upset. They were talking about how unorganized it was. Whoever didn't know how to do their job. Like, it just didn't make sense. Why does it look like this and that, da-da-da-da-da-da, right? So I think I went back to like the bathroom or something. Like I went to the bathroom or something because I really wasn't paying any mind to it. Like I was just like, okay, like whatever. So I went to the bathroom, and when I come out, they're talking to another one of the managers that's there. Like literally Jane and Jill both talking to him, and they're like, it just doesn't make any sense why the orders were stacked up like that. And I just think whoever did it, like, you need to talk to them and let them know that they don't need to do that. That's not how you're supposed to do it. This and that. Oh my gosh. Whine. Complain. This and that, da, blah, 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 blah. Right? Like, I mean, going on and on. And I just walked by and I'm like, now I'm mad, like legit, like mad. Like I started to feel the fire come up. I'm like, bro, there is no way that these girls at their big age, is sitting here throwing shots as if you don't know who did the orders, y'all. And to make matters worse, so y'all really understand why I was so angry and frustrated, everybody at that job knew. They knew. I loved doing the online orders. I just thought it really helped me learn where stuff was around the store. And like, it just became a thing for me. Like everybody else hated doing it, so I always did it. So it was literally like a known thing. Everybody knew that I like to do the online orders. And here they go, talking about they don't know who did it. They don't know this. Whoever did it is so unorganized. Ugh. And I'm just like, bro, like, you know who... Listen to the complaint, you know, walking back out. And so I go talk to my work bestie, and I'm like, girl, they really back there trying to make it seem like I don't know how to do my job. Like, because I'm stupid. I'm dumb, apparently. I'm dumb. I'm disorganized. I'm dumb. I don't know what I'm doing. Blah, 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 blah. Like, and my work bestie was like, oh, like, what was going on? Because she wasn't paying attention at all. She didn't know what was happening. So I I got so mad, right? I was up there, I was mad, I was shaking, and I was like, you know what, it's fine. Like, I'm gonna just let it go. Like, it's not that deep. Like, you know, I'm trying to help customers or whatever. And I think this was the point where I snapped, y'all. It was like it was one comment that sent me over the edge. Y'all. Just it was like Jane, Jill, whoever, Jane or Jill, Jill and Jane. Janie Jill, they were like, this is just a mess. I don't know who did this, but it just doesn't make sense. And that's when I turned around and I was like, what's the problem? What is the issue? Like, I don't understand why y'all are over here complaining. Well, this just doesn't make sense. Like, the papers are all out of order. I was like, well, they weren't in order. I was like, I had stacked them up and they were in order. So I don't understand what the issue is. They should not be out of order unless you guys move them like that. No, like the papers fell over. Okay, so put the papers with the right thing. It's not my fault it fell over. It's not. That's on you. Didn't nobody tell you to sit here and try to move something that didn't need to be moved. You should have just picked from the stack and kept it pushing. I ain't say all that last part, but that's really how I felt. I was like, you sitting here trying to blame me for something that's really not even my fault. I kept it as organized as possible for you, and you knocked the stack over, and now you're upset because the papers is all mixed up, and you have to do extra work that you really don't want to do. Let's just be real. That's literally the only reason. And if that's the case, you don't need to be working here. You're here to work. If you don't want to work, then you can go. Okay, you can go. Go. Girl, be for real with yourself. Be for real with yourself. Like, come on now. So Jane or whoever, I don't remember which one it was, Jane, Jill, whoever, looked at me and they was just like, didn't say nothing after I was like, okay, well, they were in order. So if they fell over, like, just put the papers with the thing. Like, it really wasn't, I understand why they was like upset. Like, but at the same time, it's like, you did the absolute most and the way you handle it was not right at all. And honestly, the fact that I've been told that they were managers at some point or were temporary managers or whatever the case may be, it didn't seem like it. Because why would you handle a situation like that? That's not how you handle a situation. If you have a problem with the way something is done, you go to that person. You don't sit here and throw open shots on the sales floor where everybody can hear you, including that person you're talking about. Like, are we children? Are we children? Are we in high school? I'm sorry. Are we in high school? Because I didn't know. I thought this was a job. Like, what? After that whole scenario, right? I went to the back and I looked at the other manager and I was like, can I go home? And she was like, why? I was like, because I just feel like I should leave before I say something that might get me fired. So I think that I should go home. And she was like, oh, yeah, that's fine. And she told me, or at least I asked her if I could go home early or something. I don't know, but at the time we were kind of busy and I was like, I'll wait until like we die down or whatever. But I'm gonna let you know right now, Jane and Jill is my issue. Like, I don't appreciate the way that they were sitting there, like literally throwing shots at me as if I wasn't standing right there. And I could, y'all, things always happen to me when I'm on the clock. They always happen when I'm on the clock, babe. Dang. If I was not on the clock, that situation would have went very different because some words would have been said. Because you know I love telling people about themselves when I'm upset. I really do. I really, really do. I ended up waiting it out, and like the whole time I just like stayed as far away from them as possible. Like the entire time. Stayed as far away from them as possible because I didn't want to talk to them. I didn't want to look at them. I didn't even want them breathing in the same space as me, if I'm being honest. Like, that's how upset I was. And I was just trying to like push through it and do my job. But y'all, it was so difficult because I was just like, I am ready to go home, okay? And then Jane, Jill, whoever, one of them ended up leaving before I did because like they were scheduled to get off at that time. And my other manager was like, well, do you still want to leave early? Because like Jill or Jane, whoever, the other one is supposed to leave like in like so-and-so minutes and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, yes, I can't work under these conditions. Like, I cannot work under these conditions. I need to go home, drink a cup of tea and calm down, decompress. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did. I ended up leaving early. I'm pretty sure I left at the same time as like the other person that was there. It was just like we got busy at the wrong time. And I'm a team player, y'all. I'm not gonna leave my people at work hanging. I wasn't just about to up and leave. Like, we're already understaffed. Like, I'm not just gonna up and leave when you guys need someone. So I waited it out. Plus, you know, I was trying to get to promotion. That wouldn't look good. That wouldn't look good. Anyways, so fast forward. A couple days later, the store manager, she calls me like to the office. She like, Naimah, can I talk to you? I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do? I didn't do it. She's like, so I heard what happened with Jane and Jill. And I was like, oh, that, yeah, yeah, that was a fun experience. And she was like, I don't want you ever to be afraid to come tell me like something like that is happening, because pretty much what she was really saying was, without actually blatantly saying it, was what they were doing was low-key like workplace bullying. Like that was pretty much blatant bullying, and she said that it wasn't okay, and she ended up talking to both of them about it. And I was like, oh, okay, because I didn't feel like it was that deep for me to go to the store manager and be like, oh, well, this happened and blah 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 blah. But because I'm not that type of person, like, y'all, it's like petty little drama. Like, I already knew how they were, everybody knew how they were, so I just wasn't really like, oh, I'm gonna take it to the store manager. And yeah, it bothered me, but it didn't bother me enough to be like, oh, I'm gonna go talk to her, I'm gonna get them in trouble. Like, it didn't really, you know. But she was pretty much like, look, if anything like that ever happens again, you let me know. And I was like, okay, I will. And that's pretty much that. That's what happened. I will say, after that, Jane and Jill was very much acting like we were friends. Like, they were acting like we were best buddies and we talked all the time and that things were just fine and dandy when they weren't. And I'm just like, look, y'all, I try not to hold grudges with people, but I told y'all, something about their vibe seemed off. And then the fact that they wanted to sit there and be shady and throw shots at me, I'm just like, bro, like, you are being so fake right now. You're only being nice to me because you work with me. Like, let's just be real. You only are being nice because you work with me. You done got in trouble and you don't want to get in trouble again. Because I could have called HR on them, if I'm being honest. Like, I legit could have called HR, because that was definitely workplace bullying. And look, I happily... Sorry, y'all, I heard something like beeping. Anyways, I'll happily call HR, okay? I have no issue. No issue at all. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the story. I saw this tweet on Twitter that actually kind of inspired me to tell this story. I'm about to look it up so I can show y'all, so give me a minute. Okay, so this is a tweet that I saw. Tabitha Brown actually tweeted it out like a few days ago, and I'll put it on the screen. So she said, I don't know who needs this reminder, but they aren't your friends. You just work together, honey. And y'all, your coworkers are not your friends. I'm just gonna be real. It's similar to when you're in school. Like, if you're in school now, you won't get it, but once you graduate, you'll get it. You are friends with those people sometimes because you literally see them every day for 8 hours. That's it. And that's very similar to how it is with the people that you work with sometimes. Granted, sometimes your coworkers can be your friends. I have made some really great friends that originally started as coworkers. I'm just being honest, but it's very few select people, and you kind of have to be picky and choosy, because at work, people don't be showing their true colors all the time. But like I said, that tweet is what inspired this video. Moral of the story is, your coworkers are not your friends. And y'all, if you have a problem with somebody, just go talk to them about it. And if you're too upset at the time to go address it with them, take some time, calm down, and then go address it with them. Like, because throwing shade is literally not going to get you anywhere, but into a ridiculous blown up argument that doesn't even need to happen. Okay. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Let me know if anything like this has ever happened to you before. Like, have you ever had like an issue with any of your coworkers? Have you thought some of your coworkers was your friend and they weren't your friend? Let me know in the comments down below. Let's discuss. I want to hear you guys' stories too. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the story time, and I will see you in my next video. I'm lying. Make sure you follow me on all my social media, which is always in the description box down below. And now, I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.
I want a chick that grind on a 9 to 5. Oh, she in them college books trying to get a rise. But tonight, I'm just trying to have a good time.